Speaker.
Chairperson.
Where is Councillor Ngez, who is listening to us, struggling to get in, but is listening us? So that we can.
I'm going to ask again.
Yes, man, so that we can.
Are you waiting? Who are you waiting for, Councillor? Have you got hold of Councillor Opperman? And Councillor Matiwana?
Chairperson, I'm still struggling to get hold of
meeting, Chair.
Opperman. Chair?
Yes, yes.
I'm
Yes,
still struggling to get hold of Councillor Opperman.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can, I think maybe we can take only 2 minutes now to try to check all the people in, because we have a quorum. If I am in, Councillor Matiwana is in, Councillor Vormarasi in, we are 3. We are still waiting for the Councillor Opperman and the Councillor Ngaizu. We take 2 minutes to check in.
Thanks, Chair.
Aw, ndikujongile Councillor Ngaizu. Jongile, you in now. We're still waiting for the Councillor Opperman.
Speaker. Hello.
Yes, Councillor Ngaizu.
Yes, I'm connected now.
I see you. I see you. I see you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks, sure.
Okay. Councillor Opperman.
Chairperson. Chair.
Yes, yes.
I think we can start, and Lorraine can just come into the meeting when she's connected.
Yes. Okay, okay. as long as we agree, all of us, that at least he can join us when we continue, because there's a lot of things happening today. I think good morning, all councillors. I think we can start our community service committee this morning, 9 o'clock. I think I can start to check. I am here myself. I think I can show a little bit that I am here. I think everyone is seeing me. If it's not see, I think it's a problem of the computer. Councillor Matiwana, can you show your face? Oh, I see you, Councillor Vormeras.
Thank you,
Yes, yes. Councillor Ngezu. Councillor Ngezu, show your face. Yes, I see you. Thanks, Council. Thanks a lot. We only left with Councillor Opperman. We're going to other councillors present. I think all councillors is present. Can you show their faces so that we can see? I don't call the names. All the councillors is present at the moment. We must show their face so that we can join together in this meeting. I see the speaker. I see speaker. Can you show your face, speaker? Yes, speaker. Thank you. I see you, speaker. Thank you. Other
Councillor Nagi.
I want to see your face, Councillor Nagi.
You can. It's on.
Yes, I see you still alive after COVID-19. Thanks, Councillor Nagi.
Chairperson, I'm also here.
Oh, Councillor Lusuko, I see you very beautiful this morning. Thanks a lot. Any councillor?
Matika.
Show your face.
Matika.
Councillor Matika. Where's your face, Councillor Matika?
It's Dangi.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I need to see because we come to the big rain. Some other councillor have the flu. Councillor Wiedemann.
Good morning.
That's it, Mamuketi. I see your face. Councillor Vasi. Oh, thanks a lot, Councillor Vasi. Thanks a lot. Good morning.
Chairperson, Councillor Strubel.
Oh, Pastor Councillor Strubel, can you show your face?
I'm here, sir.
Why I'm not seeing you? Yeah, I see you now.
Thank you, sir.
You look like you have a yellow t-shirt. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you.
Chair, I'm also here, Councillor Davis.
Oh, from Sedgefield. Thanks a lot. Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, my leader. Now we're going back. I think the first I can check it. My colleague is here. As a brief, can you show your face as a brief before I can go to anything?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. I'm here, Councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, my leader. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we are going to the official. We have it. Who can lead in this official? MM is here.
Yeah, Councillor, I'm here, Chairperson. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, MM. Can you lead me to the official, please, MM?
Chairperson, the Director of Community Services is here, and I think he can introduce the rest of the team to you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Chairperson. Myself is logged into the meeting. I've got all the managers of the community services also logged in. Mr. Stephen Langlands, Mr. Kola France, Mr. Davia Doornes, Parks and Recreation, Mr. Richard Meyer, Disaster Management, Mr. Randall Bauer, Waste Management. And then we've also got Mr. Ian Besaidenhout of the Fire Department, Anthony Barnes of Traffic, and also Ms. Liesel Baikis of Social Development. Those are all the officials that are currently logged into the meeting from community services side, Chairperson.
Thanks a lot, my Dari. Your office is much better today.
Yeah, it's still a bit wet, but we're working with gumboots.
Oh, thank you, my director. Director planning.
Chairperson, this is Small Invoice, the Director Planning. I'm in your meeting. Thank you.
Director Corporate Service, can you lead me? Yes, Director Corporate Service, you are here. Thank you. Director Technical Services here. Thank you. Thank you. Administration side. Thank you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Yes. Who's short now? Administration. Okay.
Chairperson, Jiban Kume representing communications.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yes.
Person, Marilyn Gota, on behalf of Legal Services.
Yes, thank you. I think all of us, we are here. Tracy is there? Tracy? You are here, Tracy? Oh, I see your hands. Yes. No, thanks. I think now we can start, all of us. We are here. Mr. McCarthy is here, my director.
Chairperson, I don't see Mr. Walter McCarthy locked on, but we'll check where he is quickly.
Okay. Thank you. I thank you, councillors. Thank you, my members of my committee. Thanks, other councillor is here, and all of administration. And thanks, MM, to be here to this Section 80 community service. Members are present. Is already, we are 4 here. Is the members absent with leave? None. Members absent without leave. At the moment, is still 1. We're still waiting until it's locked. Councillor Opperman, we're still waiting. Other councillor present, we welcome all of you. We are already recorded, the councillor is present. Official present, we are already registered. Members of the audit committee present. Is anyone is present, member of the audit committee? Johan, yes.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm here.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yes, I see the hands. Thank you. Members of public, I think it's always people lock, so we don't need to say. Is any councillor is want to make a declaration of interest to this meeting? Members of my committee, is anyone? Nani?
No, Chair.
No, okay, thank you. Thank you. We are going straight to the confirmation of minutes of the last section 80. I think we start in page 4. It's only the correction of the minutes. The section 80, we have it. It's in 6 July. If anyone is want to correct the minutes, I think our minutes is registered the way we are conducted our meeting. The confirmation of minutes is in page 4. Can you confirm the minutes, my members of my committee?
Confirm, Chairperson. Councillor Wilmerans.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We confirmed our minutes. So, we're going to page 12 to execution list. Page 12 is only 2 issues. The recommendation also is still in page 12. If anyone is want to say something, it looks like it's a 19 February 2019 execution list. I think it's a lot of taking place according to that 2 issues. So can you agree to that recommendation down there? Is anything that according to this in this execution list you want to confirm to us?
Yeah, no, Chairperson, these are fairly old execution, and both have been done already. The issue about the collection points was before the previous section 80 meeting already. It's incorporated into the infrastructure master plan of waste, and also the next one about the events and program, that's also outdated. So in fact, both of them can get off the execution list.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you agree, my members of my committee, that this execution list must be take off? I think it's the last to see in our agenda, this one.
Chairperson, my hand is up. I don't know if you can't see my hand.
Yes, I see your hand now. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. No, I agree with the director, but I just want to know about the second one, the youth desk. After COVID, not after COVID, we're still within that period, but nothing has happened in that youth desk. So I just want to know from the director, what are they planning to do, the funds, because it says that the programs will be prioritized based on approved 2020 adjustment budget. So will that now all stand over for not our next year budget, but after we are maybe on level 1? But I'm agreeing that it can be taken off the execution list. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. My diary is something can you say about the youth desk?
Yes, Chairperson. Yeah, obviously the lockdown had a very big impact on the activities of our youth programs. We had a meeting last week with our youth coordinator as well as the youth advisors, just to see what are the programs that they envisage within the next month or so, and we will make sure that we get a program to the next Section 80 meeting of just what is planned for the next couple of months at least. I must obviously say that our youth budget has significantly been reduced in terms of the budget that we were used to in previous years. So there will be somewhat of a scale down. We're also looking at how we can partner with other government departments as well as private sector stakeholders to see how we can at least make sure that the impact is not lessened in terms of youth development programs. But we will bring a report to the next Section 80 meeting just to indicate what are the plans going ahead for at least for the next 3 months.
Thank you, my director. So we move forward. We agree with the recommendation of execution list. We are going to the new matters, community service monthly report, starting from page 13. The recommendation also is still in page 13. Is anyone who want to say something to this report of community service? Councillors and my members of my committee, it's only one question I want to ask my director. How far about the whole of the Chrisani Hall in this stage? Can you share the information to the members of the committee and other councillors?
Chair, I've also got 2 questions. It seems as if you don't see my hand if I raise it.
Okay, I see your hands. Yes, I see Councillor Vormeras and Councillor Obritsengwa.
Thank you. Chair, I've just got 2 questions. My first one is page 16. It's just about the cemeteries. I've been inundated with calls from members of the community to ask whether the cemeteries are open for them to go and visit the graves of their loved ones, to go and put flowers and stuff on. So I just want to know from the director, what is the procedure regarding that? And then our community halls, are they still closed now on lockdown level 2? And when do we anticipate that will be open to the public to use them for functions or events? Thank you. I've only got that 2 on this report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Tsengwa, so that my director can answer all this.
Thank you very much, Chairperson of the committee. Good morning, members of the committee, directors, councillors. Thank you very much once again, Chair. Chair, I think one question which I was going to ask is been addressed by Councillor Volmerans, about the cemetery. But Chair, the second one which I really wanted to deal with, man, it's a conduct. Acting director, how Dolly ports conduct themselves into that cemetery is unacceptable. It's unacceptable where Councillor Salazi, you are going to be phoned by members of the public which are going to be burying their loved ones, you know, and I understand during this COVID period, because one incident which I want to cite here, there's a company which sell tombstones from George. You know, the manner in which that lady conducted herself is unacceptable. You know, remember, Councillor Salah said, when we bury our loved one, we would like to put a stone there. I mean, people have been chased away there by Dolly. I mean, those people arranged to come and build a tombstone. When they arrive, Dolly does not even pick up. And the manner in which Director Yebans is dealing with people is not acceptable. I've witnessed there 2 instances where people were chased, were turned back by her. And it's not acceptable. And some point, that's why I'm raising this issue here. I don't want to confront her as if I'm interfering with her job. But the manner in which she's dealing with people is not acceptable, Director. And the last thing which I want to say here, I know she's supervising the cemeteries, but she do not own that particular property. We've got our parents lying there. I've got my mother lying there. You know, at some point, people will want to visit, as Councillor Vormans have raised. You know, how she's dealing with people, I can't accept it. And I want to appeal to the acting director. My brother, you must be firm. You must be firm in terms of dealing with your staff. I mean, it's not on when people are going to phone you crying. It's not on when people lost their loved ones and been treated the manner in which is treating people there. I can't accept it. And I'm sure I'm raising it, Councillor Salazi, on this platform for the last time. I wanted to register that concern. And you must tell Yeban that I've raised this thing. Thank you.
Thank you. I answered my Dari?
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. No, I'll start with the last one first. And I think Councillor Tsengwa, the Deputy Mayor, has raised the issue of the cemetery with myself and Davi before. And we committed to take this up with the relevant officials involved. So we'll have an engagement with Mrs. Potts specifically because a name was mentioned. But we must also understand that we put some protocols in place at the cemetery itself, and there is no excuse for any attitude towards the clients coming to the cemetery. But we must also understand that Mrs. Potts also have a responsibility to adhere to the protocols that is not laid by us, but it is national. So I came across a number of complaints that people say they want to go in, but we know for a fact, I mean, it's common knowledge that we can only allow 50 people entering. So in some instances, we get good cooperation from certain people, but other families were also very insistent to overstep that protocols. But I agree with Councillor Tsengwa that we need to have an engagement and just make sure that our Batopele principles, specifically in a situation like this where people are already emotional about families that are being laid to rest. So myself and the manager of Parks and Recreation will certainly have an engagement and see how we can improve the service delivery in that aspect. Just your initial question, Chairperson, is that you asked you raised the date of it is for the up to July 2020 is this report, and so just to clarify that, I think Councillor Wolmerans raised the issue about the cemeteries other than for funerals, and simply because of the whole COVID-19, you want to limit the access to the cemeteries if it's not specifically for a funeral. But we also understand there are people that want to visit graves of their loved ones, specifically if they are in the area. And I don't think there would be a problem if it doesn't interfere with the numbers being allocated for specific funerals. So it's just a matter of communication, and I think there won't be an issue to allow that if it doesn't interfere with already a large number of people in the cemeteries. Most of the cemeteries obviously takes over weekends, so you would want to have an indication like that during the week time where there's less people visiting the cemeteries. I'm not sure, Mr. Adonis, if you want to add anything to that.
Chairperson, can I speak?
Yes, can you speak, Acting Director?
Thank you. Chairperson, let me first deal with the question with regards to Chris Hani. We are 95% completed. I just need to check the snags in terms of the work that has been done. So that hall is nearly completed. Within the next week, that hall will be ready. In terms of the protocols with regards to the halls, we are currently, our challenge was that we ran out of decontamination substance, and we went under procurement process, and we will receive the F10 substance within the next week, because we need to, after every function, we need to decontaminate the hall. So we will communicate that through our communication department, and the protocols will also be in place that it cannot be more than 50 people in a specific hall. So within the next week or two, we will be able to communicate the protocols with regards to our halls to the community. In terms of the cemetery and the question in terms of if people can visit, we have a chronic challenge with the protocols in cemeteries, and also with regards to our staff complement at the cemeteries. And we would like to request that people who wants to visit graves do it by virtue of appointments, because as the COVID related funerals increase, we are doing it on a procedure or process that doesn't interfere with the protocols, and we, at this point in time, people can contact the caretaker at the cemeteries to indicate when they will when they can come and visit the graves, because we must understand that there's a lot of COVID-related funerals during the week. We mostly do our COVID-related funerals in the week, so we will be able to accommodate people. In terms of the attitude of the caretaker worked on tremendous under the tremendous pressure during this COVID-19, and one can understand that the behavioral and emotional challenges that our staff went through. But myself and the director will take it up with the caretaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Acting MM.
Can I come in, Chair?
Any follow-up? Yes.
Chair,
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, thank you very much once again. Chair, I understand what my officials are raising here, the issue of protocols. I'm sure all of us, we know not more than 50 is allowed to enter there. Not more than 50. It's allowed. You know, as a community leader, I've attended almost all, some of the people which have died there, I've been into their funeral. You know, I've noticed the Director Donis, I think I must raise it here. People were chased there. I remember I've counted, there were only 26 people. The rest told them to stay outside. Is that part of the protocol? Is that part of the protocol? You just allow 26 people and you leave the family, the immediate family of the deceased is outside. It's not part of the protocol. And the second thing which I must raise here, I mean, Director Adonis as well as Director Phillips, that Dolly Miss Sport doesn't have, it's not a question of pressure. The issue that if you want me to say a spade as it is, that woman is rude. You can never put that person there. She's going to come across, other people are going to assault and attack her. She's very rude. And I've raised this thing with both of you. And I want to appeal to you. When people came there to erect their stone for their loved ones, people must be allowed. If there is anything on the guidelines with regard to COVID-19, which says that people are not allowed to erect tombstone, you must tell me now. Read it for me or quote it on the COVID regulation. Because a lot of our people are crying when people are confronted with those things there. I mean, they are calling us, right? And when you read this thing, there's nothing says that people cannot erect their tombstones. There's nothing which says on the regulation. If there's anything which says, please, my officials, please refer me to that particular clause or regulation which says that people cannot erect their tombstones, so that we can all be clear. But from me, I'm sitting, Director Adonis, that woman does not work under tremendous pressure. That woman is rude. And I'm saying to you again, that woman is rude. She doesn't have manners to deal with people there. I'm not talking about yesterday, I'm talking about what I've witnessed, not once, not twice, not thrice. And it's unacceptable. And I must tell you, both of you, she doesn't own that cemetery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Acting Director, Councillor David. I see your hand.
Chairperson, thank you. I know about the situation with regards to the tombstone. You must remember that was during the lockdown level 4. And during lockdown level 4, in terms of the regulations, there was very strict regulations, especially when it came to cemeteries. We've allowed the service provider to put up a tombstone, but he had the other demands which we could not, under lockdown level 4, agree to. So at the end of the day, the regulations under the various lockdowns levels was very strict. If we look at level 5 and where we are now. So I understand what the Councillor Chengwa is raising, but I must just inform the committee that we must take into consideration under which lockdown level that incident happened.
Thank you. My Director, Councillor Ebert, you. Director
Yeah. Thank you, Chairperson. Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Councillor Chengwa for raising it here, and I can give him the commitment that we will definitely engage with a relevant official and not maybe go into an elaborate discussion here, and we will also be able to provide him feedback of the intervention, because I agree, if there are challenges with attitudes of staff, then we also need to consider the circumstances, but it's no excuse for misconduct. So myself and Mr. Adonis will engage with Mrs. Potts and the rest of the cemetery staff, and to see how we can improve on the service delivery and also the communication specifically with people coming for funerals, etc. So if Councillor Chengwa can leave it with us, and we will definitely have an appropriate intervention.
Thank you, my Director. Thank you very much. Is anyone have a question to this report? So that when we finish, we go straight back to the page 13 to where the recommendation is. Is anyone want to say something to this recommendation, to this report? we agree with the recommendation, my members of my committee, in page 13.
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. The recommendation we agree is in page 13, that the consolidated report of community service report for the month of June 2020 be noted. We are moved forward. We are going to page 36, COVID-19 situation report. Page 36. I just go there first before I can give to this. Yes, we are in page 36, COVID-19 situation report. Can I give my director first to give us the reference? Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. I think we have agreed previously that we will just have a standing item to just indicate to you what the current status is specifically within the Greater Knysna as well as the municipality in terms of flattening the curve of COVID-19. I will just give over to the head of disaster management, Mr. Richard Meyer, because the item or the report that is in the agenda, obviously there's a number, it was done about a week or so ago. So there are figures and data that have changed in the meantime. So I'll just allow Mr. Richard Meyer just to take us very briefly through this report, Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Chair, can I go?
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I can just share my screen quickly just to give you an indication of, you will see on the right hand side, it's down from looking red. So the numbers is coming down and we are definitely flattening it. But if you go back to the report on page 36, we already on day 22 of level 2 lockdown, and then from a JOC perspective, we're already on day 175, and then a national disaster declaration, we're on day 179. Then I want to go to page 37, where it speaks about the alert levels. If you look at the alert level 218, that was the numbers. But if you look at the current numbers, which I also just want to put on the screen for you, so that you can, it's more easier to see and look at it. You will see that Knysna is currently on 1,392. If you looked at yesterday's one, it was 1,387. So there's quite a low increase when it comes to the totals. Our actives is today on 53. Yesterday it was on 50. So there is a slow, active cases that gets added. The recovery rate is also looking good. Today it's 1,292. Yesterday it was 1,291. So we already have a recovery. But then also our fatalities, is also slowly increasing. But it was it's 47 today. Yesterday it was 46. So you can see the numbers are coming down when it comes to that. If you look at the page 38 on top, you will see there's active cases per 100,000 person population. And if you look at the local district and Western Cape, we were at 83 and previously 125, and in total cases 100,000 per population. The total cases, we already down with the active cases as well. So currently, when active cases per local municipality, we were on 68 as of yesterday, but our previous number was 70. So you can, even just looking at page 38, you will see there's already a downward curve with regard to our active cases and our previous cases. We're still a little bit higher than the district and also the Western Cape. when it comes to the numbers. I've shown you the just the graphs, but I couldn't get the new ones to actually show you, which is on page 38, and then also just the graphic graph that shows you the 90 days, and also when it comes to NISNA, there's a red if you have it in color. There is definitely a downward spiral, and things seems to be settling in NISNA as well from the medical practitioners. The only big change currently from a medical perspective is now quarantine and isolation is both 10 days, not 14 days and 10 days, but both of them are on 10 days. Other than that, there's a couple of regulations I've put in the new one. I've put in the regulations, and those who have changed, there's a lot that has changed, that it's only certain things that is still not open and closed to the public. The food has stayed the same. Our temporary shelter, there is a report on that as well later on for the exit strategy. Then also, just if you look at the quarantine and isolation facilities, that is still in Petro SA, and they will keep that open as long as possible, as they are closing most of the ones in the Western Cape. That's now Cape Town. We want to keep this one open as far as possible. So today, or yesterday, sorry, there was 3 in quarantine and 11 in isolation. So you can already see that although there's 3 in quarantine where there were 0 on the 31st of August, it does show a downward curve as well for the isolation, where the previous one was 27, and yesterday we were standing at 11 people within quarantine, in isolation, sorry. And then if I want to just show you, because this is also an outdated version of our local stats, let me just show you the updated version. You will also see, let me just show it, sorry, apologies, there it is. There's already a downward curve as well. So what we're seeing outside of the municipality is also happening inside of the municipality, where we started off on 23 on the 23rd of July, then it went down, then it picked up a little bit again, and then there was a downward curve up to today, or sorry, yesterday, where we were sitting with 1 active, which is in the finance department. Both between the 4th and the 6th September, it was both on this 2 was in finance. We dropped to 1, 4 in isolation, 54 recovered. So there is definitely an improvement, and therefore also the decision by council to actually bring back people, as the letter has indicated from the municipal manager. Then other than that, there is no other changes to the report. So yeah, just a note of the quarantine and isolation that has been dropping to 10 days. We're still running the joint ops as well. We're calling it now the multi-agency coordination center, but more known as the JOC to people, and it's still happening once a week, which is on the Monday, but you can even see there the information that is coming through is drips and drabs. So there is definitely a downward spiral. Maybe I must just mention this for the last chair, is that we are looking at a lot of stats, and also looking at other municipalities and in the Western Cape, and also what the rest of the country or internationally happened. They are looking at a trend, and we're waiting for the province, and we are doing a modeling for a second wave, and how that will look, and how will it affect South Africa, the Western Cape, the Garden Route, and then also local municipalities. So we are already looking at that, and making sure that we will be able to accommodate everyone in that second wave, if and when that will happen. It's still not sure, so that's why we're doing the modeling, to maybe give an indication of when and how it will take place. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Is anything, my Dari? You are covered now.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. That's just to give you an update of how far we are in terms of flattening the curve in Knysna and in the municipality itself. So I'm not sure if there's any questions from any of the councillors.
Thank you. Is any question, councillors, about this report? The recommendation is in page 46. We agree. Yes.
We can note the report.
Yes. Okay. We agree, all my members of my committee, and we note the report. Before we note, man, sorry, my Dari. Before I note the report, I think I want to ask man something. I know that because of this COVID-19, we have it. I found that it's a lot of infection is taking to our department, my director. And then as a chairperson, I found that the most popular one is making this disease. It can affect a lot of the people. It's the issue of the transport. Can you explain to my committee, my director, man, how far the issue of the car, of our law enforcement and other painting stuff, because I think the department is affected a lot with this issue of the COVID-19 because of the people is lying to the one car, a lot of people, 5 people, sometimes it's 6 people. When it's a problem, it's affect a lot of people. And then as a chairperson, I try to push it to the issue of the vehicles. So I don't want to look like the top show. Is anything we can report here to this section 80 so that all the members of the committee understand what is the way forward of this problem?
Yes, Chairperson, I think just from the onset, I think we had the discussion between myself and yourself and also specifically the manager of protection services in terms of the vehicles available. And I think all of us realize that that's a big challenge that our department is facing. We sit with a situation where the budget allowed for the purchasing of vehicles only in the next financial year. We are utilizing this adjustment budget process that we're currently busy with. I think the adjustment budget is coming to councillors within the next week or so to see how we can actually bring it forward to purchase vehicles for our department. But that will go through the adjustment budget in itself. In the meantime, we've also engaged with the relevant officials in terms of fleet management, supply chain, and also the CFO, and how we can, in the meantime, at least lease vehicles from our operating budget. And that discussion is currently underway. We've obtained a number of quotes in terms of that. And I think within this current week, we'll be able to finalize this while the procurement process for vehicles is underway. I must say that the fleet management has advertised the tender already, so that makes it a bit easier. We just need to see how we are going to move the funding instead of next financial year to this current financial year. We're even sitting with a bigger challenge now because one of our law enforcement vehicles have been in an accident yesterday, where it's another vehicle that is currently off the charts. So we are speeding up this process in terms of getting adequate or enough vehicles for specifically traffic and law enforcement. So thanks for that, Chairperson.
Thanks, my director. Maybe you can give us the time, director. Maybe we can waiting for 2 months or 3 months so that we can see the improvement of these vehicles. So that we must not waiting for a long. Is any time you can speculate on that?
Yeah, at least in terms of the leasing of the vehicles, I've got a session with the CFO just after that. We've spoken to our fleet management already as guide us in terms of that. So we're looking at least getting within the next 2 weeks vehicles to lease. But obviously the procurement via the adjustment budget would take a little bit longer. So the tender is currently out already. I think it closes the end of this month. So we just need to see in the adjustment budget that we are going to move the funds forward for this current financial year.
Okay, my darling. No, it's fine. Maybe I estimate maybe between 2 months we see the cars is moving. We are already
yes, Chairperson. In terms of the procurement of the cars, I think it's done by our fleet management. That will definitely be within the next 2 months because, as I've indicated, that process is currently underway. So as soon as the procurement process or the supply chain management process, we will be able to at least purchase the cars that we will get from the adjustment budget process.
Yes, my darling. That's why when you speak about the fleet management, I know that you can take it for the year. Richard, may I see your hands is up?
Chairperson, sorry, man. It's just with regard to 6.3, the next one. I tried to get hold of James McCarthy because the health environmental lies with him.
Okay, where is it? Okay, can you take it? It's still not here.
I will report on him.
As our Section 80 is for tomorrow.
Okay, no, I think my director maybe can give something. Maybe can give when we are going there. But thank you, my director. We noted this report, my director. But I want you, my director, to trying to push this issue of the vehicles. I'm worried when you speak, you go back to the fleet management. I know we can take it a year, but I trusted that the way it's going is moving. You must try to move that way of listing the vehicles so that the people must start doing their job. I know the fleet management and the procurement, it can be a year, I'm telling you, so we don't have waiting for another year. Can you try to just 2 to 3 weeks to listing the vehicles as a brief, my director, and then you must leave the fleet management. You can do it, the playing game, you can do it. Thank you, my darling. We can move to the 6.3, to the one of Mr. McCarthy is not here. I think my darling, can you help us with the background of this? What is really happened to the environmental service for July 2020? If you have information, because it's not here, Mr. McCarthy.
Yes, Chairperson. I'm not sure there's a hand. If you want to give the hand first, or
I see your hands, my Councillor Varmara, before the director.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I don't know. I've got questions, but will the director be able to answer these questions because it is related to Mr. McCarthy's field? So I don't know if we can deal with this if there is nobody that's going to be able to answer our questions. So that is my question. Will the director be able to answer questions that is going to come up?
My director?
Yes, Chairperson, I think that is actually what I wanted to suggest. Apparently, Mr. McCarthy was still under the impression that our Community Services Committee meeting is tomorrow. So we had other prior arrangements in Bito already set for today, and he couldn't get out of that. Also, the assistant that normally assists him of sitting into meetings is also attending to a COVID-19 related funeral today. So that is why he just apologized, and I actually agree with what Councillor Wolmerans suggested, that we rather have this report stand over until the next Section 80 meeting, because obviously there would come questions. The report is quite straightforward, so there's a number of issues, but if there are questions, I mean, you will need somebody from the Garden Route District Municipality to answer some of those questions. So I would suggest that we rather have this report standing over till the next meeting.
Thank you, my Dari. We agree, my members of my committee, that this report can get it with next Section 80, so we get it to report in next Section 80.
That's right, Chairperson.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, we agree, all of us. Thank you. We are moved to 6.4. Page 57. I just go straight there. Page 57.
Yes, Chairperson, maybe if I can just give some background in terms of this report. You would remember that we started off with a process to roll out what we call the RFID wheelie bins in the different areas. And we just wanted to indicate to you that significant progress has been made to date, specifically with the assistance of the service provider who actually appointed a number of people to accelerate the distribution process. Unfortunately, they could only pay for them for a certain period of time, and that meant that the momentum has slightly been lost in terms of that. Fortunately for us, we are getting a bit more manpower in the waste management section in the next week. So that will again assist us to just pick up and make sure that we roll out the wheelie bins in all the other areas that is still outstanding. So I'm not sure if there's any questions in terms of the rollout process.
Is any question, Councillor? Councillor Tandomatiga. And Councillor Skosana. We start with Councillor Matiga.
No, Nkosi kakhulu buhlalo ngaphambili. Buhlalo ngaphambili okay, let me take English. Chairperson, I think I welcome the report, and I'm very happy that at least the wheelie bins which we've been fighting for has been distributed to our areas. Chairperson, is just the concern or clarity just I want us to raise, especially in Ward 8. And in Ward 8, you have those people who have built their houses by themselves because they believe that those RTP houses are very small. So those people build their houses not with the bricks, by planks. So when the distribution was done, all those houses they are not been built by bricks. They didn't receive any wheelie bins, and that's creating a problem, Chairperson. And I think I just want to have a clarity on that. And how was that decided? Because if a person stays in an ERF, automatically that person must qualify for any services. It's whether you have built it by bricks or planks or plastic, you are staying on an ERF, so you're supposed to receive all the services that are received by others. So that is creating a racial tension in my area, especially your Concordia West. You have lots of houses that are built by your planks and stuff, and then you have other sites where lots of houses are built by the RTPs, and then it's only them that are receiving those wheelie bins. Can that be addressed, Chairperson? Because it's creating a racial tension in my area. If someone is owning an ERF and is staying in an ERF, I believe that person is supposed to receive the wheelie bins as well. It's creating a problem. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Skosana, can you raise your question?
Thank you, Chair. Greetings to everyone. And let me also welcome this Willie Bean program, Chair. But Chair, also my concern now will be around the areas, the informal areas like your plate and the others. How are we going to deal with them? Because remember, when we have Willie Beans, it means that people won't receive any more black bags. And those areas, RTPs, are still staying in informal houses. Is there any program now looking at them? But I appreciate really the Willie Beans. They play a big role in our areas where there are pigs. I think the pig festival is over now, the bash of pigs to play with nappies. Thank you, Chair.
Can you answer my Dari? Those two questions.
Yes, Chairperson, thank you. I think this is specifically the purpose of this report is to just to give you an update, but it doesn't mean that the wheelie bin rollout process has been completed. So obviously we had to prioritize and see, because at the end of the day we must also realize that the reason why we went for this RFID wheelie bin system is to enhance the revenue of the municipalities. So obviously you will prioritize the areas specifically where the accounts are coming from in order to make sure that our data is being captured correctly, so that they can also be built correctly. But Mr. Randall Bauer can just maybe elaborate a little bit more on what are the future rollout process for the wheelie bin. So Randall, anytime.
Thank you. Randy.
Thanks, Director. Thanks, Chairperson. I take note of the comments of Councillor Matika. What's happening is the wheelie bins has got a serial number, and that serial number is linked to an IRF number, and that information is being fed through to the Finance Department. As the Director indicated, we're not done with the rollout program. It's just that we're running short on manpower at the moment. Once we get the additional people, we will communicate with the councillor on the issue to see which areas have not received. And I will use the same.
Randall's.
Can you hear me? Hello.
We hear you. Continue, Randy.
Randall, okay. you just broke away something, so maybe just repeat what you just said.
I said the wheelie bins has got a serial number, and that serial number is linked to an IRF number, which is being fed through to the Finance Department for billing purposes. So we're not done with the rollout program as yet. We're just running short on manpower, but once we get the additional people, we will communicate with the councillor and on the areas that have not received bins as yet. The issue of Councillor Kosano on the informal areas, at this stage we will still distribute black bags to those areas. We're looking at, we're taking away some of the 770 litre wheelie bins from businesses and issue them with the 240 litre bins. So those bigger ones we will try and place at strategic points and stuff within informal settlements in order for them to dispose their waste into.
Thank you, Randy. Councillor Matika, follow up.
Thank you very much. I think I welcome the clarity, Chairperson, but I think the wrong information went to the people that if you are staying in your shack, you're not going to receive. You only give those who have houses that were built by brick. So that's why some of these houses were skipped. So it was wrong information, and it was wrong to skip those houses, because I'm saying that again, if you are staying in the earth, you are entitled to receive a wheelie bin, because you are staying in the registered earth. You are not staying on informal area. So I'm saying that must be speedily ratified, because it has created racial tension in my ward, because majority of those who doesn't have brick houses are your African speaking. So they believe that it's a racial issue. You know, all of us these days, everything we do it tend to racial. So I'm saying that must be ratified urgently, because those houses were skipped, because we're told that no, we only give you those houses that were built by bricks, Chairperson. So I wanted to check that. The other issue, I just wanted the clarity because, you know, one of the issues that I was very worried when these bins were distributed, and I thought that maybe it's an oversight that we, as a councillors, maybe we didn't communicate. I believe when these wheelie bins were distributed, at least there should have been some smart sort of pamphlet just saying that this is a collection fee that will be payable. Because I know there is going to be a collection fee and we're going to be lambasted by the communities. I understand that. You are giving us bins, you want us to pay for these bins. But I just want to have just to double check if I'm calculating correctly. Are we saying that each household will pay about a month 820 for a wheelie bin? Just want to have that clarity because that's going to create a lot of problem. 820 for your refuse collection per month. Are we saying that, Director, on your financial implications? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Maitari.
Yes, no, thanks. I totally agree with what Councillor is saying. We should definitely link a communication strategy with the rollout of the wheelie bin so people can clearly understand where the implication will be. Fortunately, Randall will also tell you that with this RFID, they will be able to plot where wheelie bins are currently placed. So obviously after that, once that has been plotted, they can clearly identify who are the households that haven't got wheelie bins yet, and that will just make the distribution process easier. So we will continue to bring you a continuous update on how far the process have been and what are still the outstanding. Maybe Randall can just elaborate a little bit more in terms of the financial implications.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Chairperson. I don't think the figures that Councillor Matika are raising there is correct. If you look at, I think we in a region of just over 100 Rand paying a month for refuse collection. The businesses are paying around about 210, I think 205 Rand for refuse collection. The financial implication indicated on the report is based on the collection for businesses and not based on the domestic for residential as yet. But the figure Councillor Matika is raising is not correct there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Make a follow-up, Chair.
Follow-up, yes.
No, I think, Chair, they should have included because in my financial implication, if I read here correctly, it was not specific that is for business. It says that rates per month collection per week is 205 Rand per week. Né? Then if I calculate that per month, then it's about 820. But if he's saying that is for businesses, then I'm happy. I think they should have just included the rates for domestic households so that we know exactly how much our community is going to pay for these bins. If he's saying that 205 it's for businesses, then I'm much happy. But I just want to say that they must also include here in this report, the financial, they should have also included the domestic, how much is for a domestic. The other issue I've just also want to raise, Chair, in terms of also revenue collection and in terms of also cleaning in our areas. I think one of the issues that we are not treating our Somalian shops and our spaza shops as businesses, as this municipality, which is wrong. We should start treating them as businesses because whenever there is a day of collection, you'll find about 20 or 30 bags sitting outside of those shops. So if those shops, all of them, they need to be registered and giving those business bins, even if it's one or two, because some of these black bags or lots of black bags, they come from these shops in our areas. So we should also start treating them, all these Somalian shops. You'll find out maybe Niza alone we have about 200. If each and every Somalian shop has also bins outside your business bins, so that when the refuse time comes, they are also paying for these refuses, because some of them, you go to any shops, when you see outside, you'll find about 20 or 30 bags just there, and they are not paying a cent. Do you understand, Chairperson? We must also zoom to in these Somalian shops, because they also need some bins. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Muteka. Is anyone? I think it's other issue. That's why Mr. McCarthy is not here. I think it's a question that some other business people is not going back. People is making money, other Smolanyana business, because it's not registered. That's why the question is that all the Somalia shop have the permit of is operate like anybody. If those people not have a permit, why is continue operate other people is not operating? So it's other issues we need that Mr. McCarthy we can trying to help us, because other Smolanyana business people is not come back, because we need the people who have a permit to come back. But I think I alluded to you, Councillor Matika, the most of the plastic is come up to the Somalian shore, and those people put the bags outside, and the pigs is playing in those plastic and all that kind of stuff, and then steam a car in our location. I think we must start charge as a business people. I think is the best. Is anything, councillors, according to this report of the Willie Bins? The recommendation is in page 59, that the progress report of the rollout of the Willie Bins within the Greater Knysna municipality area be noted. Is noted, Councillor Bazu?
Noted, Chairperson.
Oh, thanks a lot. Councillor Matiwali. Thank you.
Noted, sir.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Nazu. Thank you. We're going back to page 61, progress report on vector control. I think my director must give us the background of this item, please. My Dari.
Sorry, yes, Chairperson. Just in terms of the progress report, you will remember we've been plagued by rats since last year already. Where we've had a number of interventions to address this issue of rodents, specifically in the CBD, and it's also been in other areas. So we've appointed a company, Bidvest, at the time, which could assist us in terms of that regard. This is also a joint operation between the Garden Route District Municipality as well as Knysna Municipality. And we managed to make significant progress in terms of that until the money dried up. Our solid waste department has again put out a tender now to just appoint a company again to start afresh with a new bait station program in order to reduce the amount of rodents, specifically in our CBD area. And I know councils will indicate it's not only in the CBD. We're sitting with outlying areas where we have similar challenge. So we will make sure that that is also being covered in terms of the appointment of the new service provider for addressing this whole rat infestation within the Greater Knysna municipal area. So just that's to give you some background. I know there would obviously be a number of questions.
Thank you, my director. Is anyone can ask the question? Is anyone, Councillor? I think this item is a item. My director is the same. Is the company you put on place is the same work that fire department is doing. When we have something in your house, you can call the fire station people to come and spray with the people's house and all that kind of stuff. Is the same thing is happening.
Yes, Chairperson, that is now specifically in terms of ad hoc. When complaints come in, our fire department used to have that service, but we want to encapsulate or incorporate this into one big program with a service provider that is rendering that that specific service. So Randall, maybe you can just elaborate a bit more on this.
As a brief, Randy.
Okay, thanks, Chairperson. The service is specifically aimed at certain hotspots that we've got within the Greater Knysna municipal area. So they will just be placing bait stations at certain hotspots, or they will blow powder into the tunnels and stuff of where the rodents are hiding away. But it's not only aimed at, as the director indicated, it's not only aimed at the town area. One of the biggest hotspots that we've currently got is the taxi rank area. But as I said, we can. It's of such a nature that we can use it in other areas as well, Chairperson.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Is any question to my councillors on this? If there is no question, we have the recommendation in page 64 that the progress report of the nectar control audits be noted. Can we note the report?
Yes, Chair.
Noted, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Matiwana. Thank you, Councillor Matiwana. Now we move to 6.6, page 66. Exit strategy of homeless shelter at Lorry Park. I think through you, Dari, you can give only a small background also in that one also.
Yes, Chairperson, I think everybody is aware that we've been hosting the temporary shelter for homeless people throughout the lockdown process for the last 5 months. The lockdown alert levels have now been relaxed to level 2, which obviously allows bigger movement and the return of a number of industries and also activities that were not in operation for a long time. The challenge that we currently have is, I think all of us knew that it was only temporary, but we are coming under more and more pressure from the sports fraternity who wants to make use of the facility at Lorry Park. And simply because the shelter is still in operation, where we understand that the people don't necessarily have other place to go to, we need to have some kind of exit strategy for homeless people out of Lorry Park. But obviously we don't want to have an inhumane approach towards this, because we do understand this is destitute people. People doesn't really have any other alternative for houses. So we have started with a process with Department of Social Development to reunify the people that are currently at Lurie Park. Our social development practitioner, as well as the Department of Social Development, has identified a number of people currently living at Lurie Park who's got family living close by. So we've engaged with those families to see if we can reintegrate the homeless people with their families. But we also understand that it's not going to be possible for everybody. And in the absence of a permanent shelter, that creates some kind of a challenge where we need to see how we are going to get Lurie Park again available for the people of the sports fraternity to utilize it again. So that is the reason why this report, because I think everybody can understand that it would be regarded as inhumane just to leave people in Afrikaans aan hulle eie genade oorlaat and again allow them to live on the streets again. So we've now started with that process, and we just want to inform the councillors that is the current strategy that we do have. We also do understand that we cannot have a temporary shelter indefinitely at Lurie Park, simply because of the cost involved, and also the fact that Lurie Park is actually a sports facility, which is supposed to be accessible to the sports fraternity. So that is the current situation. Council has made a decision previously to make the Church Street house available for a permanent shelter. Liesel will just later maybe elaborate that we've had various engagement with a number of stakeholders, made an assessment of the building itself, and it's in a fairly dilapidated condition currently. So that means that the cost involved can only be accommodated with a new budget process. So what it boils down to is we need to make the Lurie Park accessible again, while the process of a permanent shelter is also being explored by the municipality in collaboration with the Department of Social Development. So that is the reason for this report. Because everybody will obviously know there's going to be a big public interest in what is going to happen with people when, say, for instance, we go to level 1 and then everybody can just move as normal. And also people would want to know what is going to happen with the homeless people. So this is just to inform the committee, the Section 80 committee at this point in time. Thanks. Liesel, I'm not sure if you want to elaborate on further on this, or would you allow for questions from councillors?
Eben, they can proceed.
Yes.
I reported most yesterday the problem of draining water in.
Who's speaking now?
Yes, I'm coming there now. That's what is smells bad.
Who's speaking now? Councillor Ngwezu.
Yes, because
Chairperson, I will mute all and then you can just switch on your mic again, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, MM. Thank you. Yes, Councillor Ngwezu, you ufuna uthetha?
Okay, I think I'm not busy. I'm not on phone. Okay, sorry.
Besicela umute nxa uncokola ke.
Chairperson.
Okay, Councillor Ngwezu is just apologizing that he was just busy on another call, and the chairperson is also asking him to just mute when he's talking privately. Thank you.
Chairperson. Chair.
Yes, Councillor Bomeras. And
I see the mayor's hand. The mayor has raised his hand.
Okay, yes. Over to you, Mayor. Mayor, you raise your hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, councillors, officials. Chair, just coming back to this permanent structure, which Eben was referring to, which Liesel was supposed to elaborate on. I just thought before asking a question to hear from her, because I personally and the office of the mayor was inundated with questions and suggestions pertaining to this permanent structure. So probably will be assisting myself and helpful to others also. If we can get just that report on the permanent structure, probably from Liesel Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. You want to answer, Liesel? Through my direct?
Okay, Liesel, you can go if you want to. I can also just add to that.
From my side, in terms of the stakeholder engagement, we had a lot of meetings with the stakeholders. We had a virtual meeting on the 26th of August, and the representatives from the business chamber, from Rotary, from Ratepayers Association, and also from the CPF. We also had one person, Mary-Ann from Native Roots, who's already operating in Plet, but it's a non-registered homeless shelter at this stage. And we also have one person who's been appointed by the Mossel Bay Haven, and she is the field worker. It's Cleon Benston. So we are working together with the homeless people at Lurie Park, and a lot of services happened, and a lot of interventions happened to Lurie Park. We also linked them to all the services in terms of substance abuse services, healthcare services, and also psychiatric services. So a lot of stakeholders were assisting us at Lurie Park, and a lot of work went into Lurie Park, but we also had a lot of challenges with Lurie Park as well. We are limited staff working at Lurie Park, but I think we also made a lot of strides in terms of the stakeholder forum. It's well represented, and we also have from the business chambers this week indicated that they also want to be present at this forum. So I think we really try now to get more buy-in from the Gardner-Root district to get more people into this forum. So we're also going to see that we work on a permanent shelter still, although the possibility now of closing Lurie Park is becoming a reality, but we're still going to go on with the process in terms of having a forum for the homeless people to drive this process, but in conjunction still with Niger municipality.
Thank you, Liesel. Any follow-up?
Yes, yes. Chairperson, maybe before.
Okay, go ahead, my director, before the follow-up.
Yeah, Chairperson, maybe to add on that, we will set a little bit of light on I think what the mayor is going to ask is that you would remember that when Church Street was earmarked as the suitable spot at this point in time to establish a permanent shelter, that information has gone out very quickly. And we, as the mayor indicated, even our office has been inundated with people that indicated that they would oppose the establishment of a permanent shelter in that area. And even at this forum, it was raised quite articulately that most people feel that that might not be the most appropriate site. And in the meantime, we've also looked at alternative sites that might be more suitable for the establishment of the shelter. But that is still currently underway. So what we just can expect, as soon as that advert is going out, we can expect a number of petitions that would be coming up from the neighboring areas as well as businesses in town.
Thank you. Thank you. Follow up, Mayor?
Yes, thank you very much. Let's deal with the facts. Number one, it's quite clear that we have to move the homeless people from Lurie Park. That's a fact. The second fact is, Chairperson, is that 99% of those poor people, you might not be able to integrate with their families. And I know that. That's why they're on the street in the first place. Doesn't even have families to go back to. So what is then fact number 3? You need to get a structure up and running ASAP to accommodate these people. Otherwise, they will be back on the street. And I think their council became very proactive in taking the decision to convert that specific property in Church Street into a permanent type of structure where homeless people can go to. Neither municipality at this current moment are the only municipality that does not have a permanent structure in this specific reason. And unless we don't accept that as a reality, all those facts, and we are not serious about dealing with the issue. And I'm now more concerned to the fact that we have too much forums and people that is interested and nothing is happening. If it's going to be the decision of this council to take a decision once and for all, so we must do that. But we cannot be in a situation.
Sorry. Councillors, when you speak private, can you mute your mic? Continue, Mayor.
Thanks again, Chairperson. So I'm getting to a point where this council, taking all the facts now in consideration, doesn't have any other choice than to push the whole issue of a permanent structure. It doesn't matter, Chair, with all due respect, where that permanent structure is going to be. There will be always objections towards it. Whether it's in Only, whether it's in Damsabosnekis, whether it's in the town, there will always be objections towards that. I just want to get to a point that we should stop having all these forums and people coming on board and nothing is happening. If decisions should be the decision of this council, we should not be afraid to take decisions if we believe that is in the interest of the public at large of Knysna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Gomara.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, I think we must also just keep in mind the fact that there is still a lease agreement apparently on that Church Street property that is only going to expire at the end of March 2021. We must not forget that. Thanks, Chair.
Chairperson, I don't know, my hand is up. I don't know if can't you see my hand? Chairperson, your mic is muted.
Speaker, are you Tracy? Tracy Lieber?
No.
There's a hand for Tracy also, so maybe the chair don't see all the hands.
What is his mic is muted now?
Speaker Trace.
Chair.
Speaker, are you the one on Facebook? Tracy Zille. Are you that Tracy Zille on Facebook?
The chairperson unmute himself. Where is he?
Are you that Tracy Zille on Facebook?
I'm Van Dam.
Where is the chairperson? Can somebody get hold of him?
He's muted.
Hi, chairperson.
So, sorry, councillors, man. There's something wrong with my network here. Now I come back now.
Chairperson, my hand is up.
I think I'm listening, Councillor Bomeras, and then I can go. Can you repeat again? What your question?
No, I am just saying that apparently there's a lease agreement on that Church Street property that only expires at the end of March 2021. So I don't know if there's something that can be done about that, chairperson. Thank you.
Oh yes, is list to somebody else.
Yes, Chair, but I think the director can elaborate on that. Thanks.
Oh yes, Speaker, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. I also want to agree with the mayor, and I also want to exactly know who is the forum that's driving this whole homeless initiative. I think we, as a council, need to know who those people are. And it must be people that we can't just have everyone on board and have a big committee that won't be able to discuss issues and come nowhere. That is my first point. My second point is, Chair, I don't know, I hear the Director of Community Services say they're also looking at other avenues. I don't know where those other avenues is. But from my side, I just wanted to say, I don't think we must even think for 1 minute that we want a shelter that's far out of town for these people, because it won't work. Because they were wherever they were staying, they came back and they will now want to be in town. And I think that the property that was earmarked, in my view, is actually a perfect place where it is. It's not in the center of town. It's a little bit out of town. I don't know about businesses that's around that place. Unless I'm not talking about the same place, but I'm talking about the one near to the municipal flats. And that place to me is actually a suitable place. And I want to also agree with Councillor Wolmeran that we need to go and look at now if there is a lease agreement and it's only expiring in March 2021. Then we've got a problem. But also I want to come back to the thing of the stakeholders, because now we must have people that now have to drive the whole thing to get a register NPO, because I think Liesel alluded here that there's one in Platte and they haven't been registered and they are struggling. And I think if we don't have them registered first before we start, we're going to end up with us as a municipality have to look after the whole shelter. And I don't think we are in a position to do that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Speaker. My director, can you clarify those questions we have it now so that we can...
Chair, maybe before the director...
The one that building is already listing until 2021.
Chair, maybe before the director, can I say something? Councillors, at the previous meeting, when this topic also was discussed, I've asked Liesel, whenever they're going to have this forum meetings again, they must also send an invitation to councillors. So I don't know if I was the only councillor that have received the invitation, but so far I have attended via Teams 2 of these meetings. So I think maybe Liesel and the director, it is very important that the chairperson of this forum must also be included, of this Section 80 community services, must also be included whenever these issues are discussed. Because I've said it at the last meeting that I am not in a position to give any clear indications unless council hasn't decided on what building is going to be used. Because if you can remember, there were several buildings, I can't remember it out of my head now, that was earmarked, that was identified, but then council have decided that the property in Church Street will be the most suitable at that stage, and it was supposed to go out for public comment. So I don't know if there were any, if that was done, if it went out for public comment, and if any comments were received back on that Church Street property. And Chair, I also see Councillor Wasserman's hand has also been raised for quite some time now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Maybe sometimes because of the bad network in my side, I don't see other hands sometimes. But I don't want to take as the question is not answered. At the moment, it's a lot of questions. Maybe Lizel and my director can give clarity so that we continue to take other, because we are repeat one and the same thing. Maybe we can get the clarity when we can answer. So I think my director and Lizel, can you trying to answer those questions we have it? I think it's the 2 and the 3 most important question. I give to you, my director.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Yes, just in terms of the lease agreement, there is currently a lease agreement. I think it was one of the in Church Street. There's currently a lease agreement that only expires in March. So that is also a factor that we are dealing with our property management department at this point in time. And I think the big issue that we are also struggling with that building is Department of Social Development has got certain norms and standards that they prescribe when establishing a permanent shelter. So that means that they are normally the entity that funds an NPO that is willing to run the shelter, because I think everybody agree that the municipality won't have the capacity to run the shelter itself. And they've identified some NPOs within NISNA already that they are willing to fund to run the shelter. But I think the big issue now is in terms of the norms and standards to get that facility, first access to that facility, and then make sure that it adheres to the norms and standards that Department of Social Development has put forward. And again, just in terms of the councillors, I specifically, Councillor Wolmerans, make sure that specifically the speaker has also been invited to that forum meeting, as well as Councillor Salazi. So there's more meetings that is going to be held. I think the next meeting is next week, just to get an update on where we currently are. And we will again make sure that the notices will be extended to them as well, of the invite to form part of such a forum. So that is just to answer some of the questions that have been raised thus far. And I totally agree with what the mayor is saying, irrespective of where you're going to put it. I think we are going to get resistance from most people. We've got this whole situation of NIMBY, not in my backyard. So that is also one of the factors that we keep into consideration. So I'm not sure there's other questions, Chairperson.
No. As long as that one, very important one, the lease agreement. I think I can give the Councillor Wasserman a chance, because sometimes I don't see the hands of Councillor Wasserman.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, when the director spoke earlier, he spoke about the state of that building in Church Street and said that it is neglected. And for that reason, we can only really fix it up in the new budget cycle. So if there is a tenant in there who has a lease, is it the tenant who is responsible for the neglect of that building? And if so, shouldn't the tenant pay to fix it up? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. My director.
Yes, Chairperson. No, the building actually stood empty for some time before the tenant working, and the tenant is mostly using it just for storage space. So it's been boarded up and everything, but it was not because of the tenant that was in there. It was because it stood empty for a number or for some time. I'm not sure how long, but that caused that it was prone to vandalism from whoever vandalized the building, but it's not because of the tenant that was in there.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. DM, you still want to say something? DM, you still want to say something?
No, Chair, thank you, Chair. That's all end. All end, Chair, all end.
Oh, yes. Mayor, can you proceed? Mayor, can you proceed?
Speaker, thank you very much again. Speaker, thank you very much again. You know, sometimes people, you try to understand the way that we operate in the municipality. And the more you try to understand, the more you get lost in the way we operate. When you submit a proposal to this council, knowing that there's a lease on that property, why didn't you, for example, inform council prior to that? But leave that aside, Chair. I think the point I want to make here is the fact that we should never, Chair, create a lot of excuses not to do something. I want us to liaise with Ito, for example. They also had a building that was totally dilapidated, whatever you want to call it. It was heeltemal achteruit geweest. And that building was in such a bad state that people also believe nothing could be done about that. And then people, including these people that is homeless, start repairing, fixing up that building to the building it is currently now. I just get the impression, Chair, that sometimes we are creating for ourselves too much problems and don't want to deal with the issue. Again, I want to reemphasize, the facts are there. Move from Lurie Park ASAP, people will not be able to go to their houses. We don't have currently a permanent shelter. So these people will be ending up on the street. Then businesses will phone again to the municipality and saying, you need to get rid of these people because they're urinating on their premises, they sleep in front of their businesses, and then this thing starts all over again. Can we ask this forum who is responsible for assisting the municipality in giving us guidance, to please come up with a solution ASAP and not dragging a process till next year? We already heard now about a budgetary next year. It's in July next year when we talk. It's a year from now. Where are these people going to then? So, Chair, all that I want to ask here is, let's stop dragging feet. Let's do something about it. Thanks.
You, Richard, you want to say something?
Chairperson, yes. I just want to confirm, what the director said. But part of that committee is also looking, because we're sitting with two different types of homeless. There's the ones that do not have a home. They can be reunified with their family. But then you sit with those that has been living on the street for the last 20 odd years, some of them for 30 years. And they have just decided at Lurie Park that they're not going to stay there, although they're getting food. They're going to just go back to their normal area. So that is also something that this committee is looking at. And yes, I agree, Mr. Mayor. The one would be to public participation needs to happen. It was supposed to go out last week. We will pick that up again and drive it and come back with what is the alternative. Because all the alternatives is outside of Knysna, or not outside of Knysna, but in the industrial area, our testing station. Then there's the one in the waterfront that we've looked at. But yeah, there's conditions to that as well, and it's private property. But we will give you a report. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. My members of my committee, it look like this item we can deal with them also to the council. But I want to ask him. I don't know if MM is still here, or can help me so that to other day I must not confuse. When is the item that my director, other director is not comment, is none. What do you mean on that? It means that there's nothing can say when the other directors is not comment. Director or of MM. Continue, MM.
Yes, yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, this is something that we busy dealing with. There are different reasons why you sometimes find no comments from directorates. Sometimes it's because they do not have a comment, and sometimes it's because they've been asked too late for their comment, and sometimes it's because they simply did not provide a comment. So we're busy working on that, Chairperson. There's a problem with, and I've said this before, with the number of meetings and when items are submitted on the CoLab system for directorates to comment. That is a problem. We are working on it, and we're hoping that we will be finding solutions to those problems soon. In my opinion, on all reports, all directorates must have a comment, even if their comment is that they have no comment. So we're trying to move into that position, Chair, so that we get there soonest. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, MM. Thank you, MM, because the lot I know that the lot of mind is can come up something. If other directors not say something, some other one can help each other. So if there's none comment, none comment, yeah, sometimes it looks like it's difficult. I think MM you can work on that. Deputy Mayor, you want to say something? And then we'll wrap up in this. Deputy Mayor?
Chair, I think I'm covered, Chair. Chairperson, I'm covered. I'm covered, Chair. I'm covered.
No, thank you.
Yes.
We have a report. We have a recommendation in page 71 that the report and content, the exit strategy of homeless shelter and Lorry Park be noted.
Yes.
Can you continue noted like this? Ne? My members of my committee.
Chairperson?
Yes.
Chairperson, we will make sure, even if it's at the next MACO, that we will just indicate what has the progress been done in terms of establishment of the shelter first, moving them out of Lorry Park to an alternative site. And we will also just discuss this at the TMT meeting so that all the other directors also just get time to have an input in terms of this so that we can come up with a management solution in this regard. But we will keep you definitely posted of the progress that is running, and I can assure the Mayor that we will prioritize this and not drag our feet in terms of what is going to happen with the people currently at Lorry Park. So we will keep you informed at the next platform that will be created for this.
Thank you, Director. We need this item going forward. We're very happy about your report, but we need the item to go so that other platforms, so that we can deal with them. Thank you, my Director. We are noted this report. Now we are moving to 6.7, illegal dumping cleaning up campaign, page 73. I think also my director must give up the background of this illegal dumping cleaning up campaign.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I think this issue has been raised at a number of platforms already, specifically driven by the Executive Mayor, where we were fairly concerned about the state of the area we've been out on a number of site visits, the Mayor himself with the acting MM, myself with yourself as Chairperson, and the committee has gone out to site visits just to identify where are all these illegal dumping hotspots. It must, however, be said, but this is a trend that has increased specifically during this lockdown period. I think Randall will tell you that even the Garden Route has also now established a task team to deal with illegal dumping in the whole of the Garden Route area, because it seems all municipalities, specifically in this region, is struggling
of experiencing the challenge of a spate of increase in illegal dumping. It seems that people, the behavior of people is just as such that they just see an open space of a piece of land and they see it as somewhere to dump garbage and refuse and any kind of any kind of refuse that they can dump on there. So we've come up with after our site visits, as I identified where the critical areas are, and in order for us to roll out a comprehensive clean-up campaign. And I must be just maybe from the start already indicate that these are just the areas that we've identified, but it doesn't exclude any other areas in the different wards. Because obviously each ward councillor will very easily identify where the challenges are. So we are starting the rolling out of this process within this week already. As soon as all the resources are being put in place, and this is just to indicate a situation, just to indicate to the committee that this is our plan of action, and we will obviously need all the relevant stakeholders to participate in this clean-up campaign. It must also be indicated that it won't help us much just to clean it up, because you can clean up after people as much as you want, throw money, throw people at the problem. But if we don't replace it with something tangible and something sustainable, then that will just create another opportunity for people to dump waste again. So this report is just to indicate the priority areas and also what are the areas that we want to convert into specifically recreational areas like play parks, like recreational parks, to just come up with a strategy to prohibit people from dumping them there again after it has been cleaned. Chairperson, thank you very much.
Thank you, my Dari. Councillor Luzuko Chokolo. I see your hands is up.
Yes, thanks, Chair. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you very clear. Sometimes, councillors, I have a problem of a bad network, but I hear you very, very clear.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Chair. No, I just wanted to find out from what the director has just said now about the garden route. I just want to know, have they already made some commitments about these illegal dumping? And if they have, what kind of commitments are they just going to give a budget, or will they be? I just want to know what kind of commitment, what will they be actually doing? Or is it just something that they said that they are looking at? And also, if there's a figure that they've allocated for Neisner, if we can be given that as well, if we do have that as well. And also just a question on the Ward 7 one, the site that you've identified, and I think in the report you also say it's a property that is owned by MTO. Now I think there's also a recommendation that says it must be fenced off. So I also know that the same site that we're talking about here is also being used during initiation season. So, and it's being used by our people, but by the people in the area. So I'm not sure how is that going to work if it's being fenced off. How are people now going to have access to that? But I just wanted to understand, have those things been considered, or do you have any idea of how you're going to deal with those issues as well? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. My Dari.
Yes, just to answer the whole issue about the Garden Route District Municipality, I think Randall will also just elaborate that he's also part of that team. They've prioritized some of the municipalities that they are going to assist, also financially. And unfortunately, I think Randall George municipality is now being assisted first by the garden route, and then they will identify how they are going to assist other municipalities. We've at the meeting raised to them that Knysna is certainly a priority, and there we will also like the councillors that serve on the district municipality to also just highlight that at that level, because we will certainly lead some kind of financial assistance from the garden route to deal with this matter effectively. And just in terms of the initiation, so I think that is also one of the reasons why that area has been identified as a priority, because we went there on the site, and my chairperson, Councillor Salazi, also has raised that fact. So we need to see how we are going to work with the relevant stakeholders there to make sure that we clean it up and that we at least make it habitable for people to continue with the initiation in that area. So Randall, maybe you can just elaborate on the Garden Route District Municipality, please.
Ready?
Chairperson. Thanks, Chairperson. Just on the issue of Garden Route, the District Municipality developed a business plan for the cleaning up of areas within the District Municipality, and we've submitted a request to them indicating what we need and what budget is needed based on cleanup. They have started with the George municipality in assisting them, and they will work on a rotational basis to assist the other municipalities also. Just to indicate to councillors that this issue of illegal dumping is being addressed on a provincial level also, and being discussed every Tuesday at our waste management officers forum also. So the provincial waste officers, there will be engagement with the various municipalities also on this issue, and a task team will be established also.
Thank you. Mayor.
Chairperson.
Chair.
Somebody speaking.
Mayor.
Chairperson.
Yes.
Chair, can I continue?
Mayor, continue.
Thank you very much, Chair, again. Chair, I think as a mayor of the committee, and I've actually said that we can actually speak on behalf of all other councils also. It's important that we establish this type of attitude, war on waste, war on potholes. We should not for 1 second, Chairperson, take our eye off the ball here. We should vigorously embark on the process to clean our town, to clean our wards, and to deal with the problems that ward councils and the community is complaining all this year about. And you can blame lockdown, COVID-19, whatever the case may be. The buck still stops with us to do something about it. Chair, setting that scene, I just want to get back to one of the reports, because when you look at some of the wards, for example, Director, you provide a clear plan, the activity, the resource required, the job creation potential, the implementation time frame, and the estimate costing. So you've done that in specific areas, in specific wards. So I'm not quite sure why was that not done in all the other wards in your report. I just want to make that comment. Chair, then coming back to the issue of innovative solutions. Director, we have this mentality in this municipality, and I'm going to touch on it every time when I speak, that we will find a lot of excuses, a lot, not to do something. And I'll give you a simple example in innovative solutions. There was an application by a certain group of people in my ward to start a garden that is in the Donkerhoek area. A big piece of land, overgrown with all plants and type of things. a lot of garbage, as you make mention about it, were dumped there. A lot of other illegal dumping took place there. But these people, they've applied for that piece of land to set up and start a garden, beautify the area. Now this is now lying with all the different directors or directorates for these people just to get access to that property. And you know what, sir? It's still lying with a directorate or a department. That application. Yesterday again I was contacted by, I think it's, not I think, I know, it's Piet in Donkerhoek, Piet Solomons, Pita. And then he asked me again, Councillor, when are you going to give us this piece of land just to start a garden? Because now they are busy doing what? They start building illegal shacks. But these people applied 2 years ago to create a garden there. Now these are innovative solutions that the community themselves come forward with, but we create such a lot of red tape for these people not be able to either lease or use the land for those type of initiative that you mentioned. So I think, what I'm trying to say here is, let's get rid of all these red tapes. If there are people that are clearly wants to assist the community, setting up gardens, setting up other places where it's recreational or whatever the case may be, let's support them. Try to cut all this red tape and make sure that people can use that available spaces for the things that I believe we should do. So I just want to make that comment, Chair. And the other one which I also want to make sure is that I'm still having this problem about the fact that we're still working in isolations. Parks, their way of the operation, technical, the way they operate. And soos ek altyd sê, het is nie hand in die mond van die pap op die grond. And nobody's taking responsibility towards this. So I think it's high time, Chair, that we stop talking and start doing something. And again, through you and your department, I support this initiative, but it should be an initiative that we speed up and make sure that we deal with the issues that we are complaining about all these years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Kosana.
Chairperson. Enkosi Sihlalo. Andibulele mangelithuba Sihlalo unike lo sona ma. Ndibulele na kwi-department yakho ngokungenelela kulo mcimbi wabantu abalahla nje izinkunkuma.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the opportunity of giving attention to this illegal dumping site. We must commend where good work is done. Thank you.
And Sihlalo, umcimbi angomcimbi ulula because uchaphazela impilo zabantu into abantu balahle nje izinkunkuma.
Chair, it's not an easy one because it affects the health of the people, these illegal dumping sites.
Ala masibuyele ke kulo mcimbi uMatika ufika izolo eBhungeni waza nento enhle nembono ethi mama sibe nabantu balwa iwar yokulahlwa kwenkukuma kwiiwards zonke noba babini bathathu bahambe beqhuba ibhayisikile. Na benzocela okay.
Councillor Matika came yesterday with a proposal also on this issue of war on waste as to how the people can go around the different wards with bicycles.
Cinga Sihlalo ingasinceda kakhulu loo nto sibe nabantu kwiward nganye noba babini bahamba ngebhayisikili bajonge le nto illegal dumping because ichaphazela impilo zabantu and ayikho ntle kakhulu and nento ethi kum uba sinawo nomgomo othethayo in terms of ipolicy kulo masipala azisebenzi because abantu ezibhuti noba singabeka ibhuti sithi mabangalahli inkukuma and abona abantu abalahla inkukuma kwezi areas zethu zabantu abangathathi ntweni ngabantu bamhlophe baneefemi ezinkulu.
Chairperson, it can help us to have two persons per ward that will go around. It can also help the people's health. And also we do have policies here that are not working. And also I must highlight that it is the rich people who use our poor areas as dumping sites.
Sizocela ke Sihlalo masizameni ke nyani imali sifumene ngoku edilana le pandemic. Sasika kaloku kuzo zonke i-departments zethu. Ngoku ke masizameni nayize nebidolophu edla ngokuduma ngobuhle nobuclean sibuyele kwinto engekhoyo kuthi aba bantu bahamba ngebhayisikili bazokukwazi ukuthatha nee-address zezi moto sichithayo sizilandele ke ngoku sizitshaje bafuna sibhatele kumasipala. Mani me apho sihlala but ndiyabulela ngeeprogram onize nazo mani yabukeka phantsi kwemali engekhoyo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I must thank you for the program that you brought under difficult circumstances in terms of finance that were not there. But now we have received the money for the pandemic, and let's take back Knysna to the glory that it have. It used to be one of the best towns, and also the people that will be driving around with these bicycles, they will also be able to detect the car registrations that are doing these things, and then they will report those issues back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Skosana. I think members of my committee, Councillor Deputy Mayor, you want to say something?
Chairperson, it's Chokolo.
Continue, Councillor Chokolo.
No, Chair, I just wanted to say when the mayor started to speak now, Councillor Opperman walked in, so she's here. She just had, I typed a message that she had a problem with her devices, but she is here in the meeting, Chair.
Oh yes. Thank you. Okay. Councillor.
Hallo. Ek is net baie jammer dat ek vanoggend laat is. Soos die chairperson nou gesê het, ek het 'n probleem met my foon wat nou beidig by die IT is. Met my wifi het ook met my internet het ek ook 'n probleem. So ek is eintlik nie daar om dit te kom regstel. Dit is baie jammer dat ek laat is. Thank you.
I just want to apologize, Chairperson, that I was late. I had problems with my phone. I'm presently now in town to connect with the Wi-Fi, and also my phone was given attention by the IT. But I just want to apologize for being late. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Opperman. I think the administration is registered. You are in that 26 minutes past 11. We get your apology before we start. Thank you, councillors. I think we have a recommendation. Okay, Deputy Mayor.
No, Chair, inkosi kakhulu hlala.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Ndifuna ungena namathumba obaluleke kangaka. Ndingene ngelithi I think the program ekudala imele ukuthi ya-implementwa. Umeya unyanisile kafuneka si-implementile, funeka sike siyeke uthetha intsomi namabali. Ndiyayi-understanda umcimbi esijongene nawo, umcimbi odibene nemali. Xa ndijonga apha kupage 74, ithetha kakuhle lento ngokwakhiwa kwezithuba zemisebenzi for abantu bethu, and at the very same time nokuqiniseka that i-area abantu bakuthi abahlala kuzo zii-area ezawuthi zicoceke and bafundiswe abantu ngococa at the very same time. But ke Chair, ndiyayibona le nto, otherwise ndiyafuna uyiphakamisela because xa ndijonga apha ku-bullet number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, implementation time frame nge-1st ka-October funeka ibe le nto iya-implementwa. And I think it's a very good idea, Chairperson, I must say it, and I appreciate it, and I support it at the same time. Ngethemba le nto bana sizakwenza oqhuba ohlobo siqhela ukwenza ngalo, siyojonga abantu kwi-database, so that abantu bakuthi bazokwazi uthini basebenze. Inkosi, Chair.
Chairperson, thank you so much. I just want to say that this is a very important program, and it's been long awaited for. As the mayor have said, that we should really not delay in implementing these issues. Chairperson, also in the page 74, there is also some job opportunities that I see that are being highlighted here to keep our areas clean and to keep our areas up to standard. And also, we should not only clean, but we should also educate our people. Both in bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, there is implementation there, and I also would think that let us appreciate and welcome this program and support it, and also allow our people to be chosen from the database so that job opportunities can be created for our people. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, Councillor Nwezu. Councillor Nwezu.
Okay. Can you speak, Councillor Nwezu and Councillor and the Speaker, and after that I give my director. I see also
Chair, I'm sorry, Chair, my hand was up long before the speaker or anyone else. I don't know if you can see it, but it's been up for quite some time. Sorry. If I can just also comment once they're done, thank you.
Okay. I give Councillor Nwezu, and then I give you Councillor.
Mr. Chairman, ndiyathemba because Ward 4 i-dumping place sisayikhangela because indawo eziphezu kwemilambo kakhulu. Nako sithe sawujonga sabona uba ezinye indawo zizawuba yingozi ubheka kulodantshwa kuzo. Ake ngoku ndiyathemba bazovaleleka ngaphandle for indawo e-dumping place. Sawuvulelekile into yoba kukhangele indawo because ezinye indawo zaba kude kakhulu. Ababoniwayo izawubanga into yoba basoloko bedampa apha bazakwenza laa nto bayodampa bangayeki lana phandle zamuthi ke Ward 4 sibhizi because indawo ziphezu komlambo kakhulu ziyawukusela environment.
Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity. Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity. And also, may I highlight that Ward 4 should also not be forgotten in these processes. We are still looking for a proper place, dumping site, because most of the places there are not too up to scratch now because they are on top of the river, they are on top of the water. So please, Chairperson, let Ward 4 not be ignored, and as we are looking also for a proper dumping site for the community.
Councillor, you are finished?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Ungamute ke ngoku. Councillor Libre.
Thank you very much, Chair. I assume that these programs are separate programs because we've currently got a contractor appointed that's dealing with illegal dumping as we speak. So I just want to, I'm sure I'll clarify afterwards once I've done. Randall will clarify that with the director. Chair, some people speak.
Sorry, Councillor Matiga, can you mute?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So I assume it's two separate programs because I see the one is starting in October, and this program is obviously one that was started prior to that. There's a couple of things that we picked up when we were dealing with my engagements with the contractors and also being on site at the different areas where they're busy cleaning, is that we picked up that the way the spec was drawn up, and maybe they can comment on that, is that it was difficult for contractors to establish, the sand issue. So where do they dump the sand? Then you have the solid waste, which are your bricks and your stones, etc. Then you had the issue about litter. So the litter, the green waste, etc., is easy, for example, for the contractors to dispose of at Sedgefield. But according to the spec, they have to take the heavy stuff, they've got to take it through to Knysna. Now, this can create a potential problem because the contractors that are already in Knysna, it is obviously very convenient for them to do that. But now, if they are getting the same sort of remuneration or the same income, or whatever we may call it, then obviously it might be a bit of a challenge if they have to now go to Knysna. So I want to know by them, was that factored in when the specs were drawn up for that particular contract? So that's basically what I want to know. Then I also want to know what is the opportunity for us to have maybe get 2 skips. We had a strategy last year when we had 3 skips, and what I've done is then I've rotated it throughout the community, so you would have it at different areas every time, and that really helped with the dealing with this particular issue. So I think that's just what I want to confirm by one of the officials. So it's maybe looking at next time, because you find that a lot of the waste is within sand. So I know that everyone gets, I think it's about 75 loads. I stand to be corrected. But now, obviously, if you need to distinguish between the sand, the waste, and the litter. So maybe there should be that distinguishing factors, but maybe I can get some comments from the director. That is some of the issues that we picked up with the current contract to remove illegal waste in our ward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Speaker, and then I give the director to wrap it up. Speaker. Speaker.
Chairperson. Yes. Chairperson.
Yes, Speaker.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of noise behind me. I just wanted to find out about the program that I believe there's a program that's going to be run by Economic Development or Department, the one that's talking about greening of our areas. I just want to know if they are working in conjunction with community service.
Okay, Speaker, I give the director, if you have a follow-up, you have a follow-up after the director. Look like it's a lot of program, but we are not seeing nothing on the ground. My director, your floor is yours now.
Yes. Chairperson, thank you very much. Thanks, Councillor, for all the input and really assisting us a lot in terms of making sure that we cover all angles in terms of this cleanup campaign that we've embarked on. I can assure you that we treat this as one of the highest priorities in our directorate at this point in time. And just maybe to latch on to what the latest comments in terms of coordination, we do understand that this cannot be driven by economic development, by community services on its own. We need the participation from all other directorates within the municipality. We're actually having a meeting on Friday morning where technical services has created a platform for all of us just to discuss matters that are transversal across other directorates, and we are going to utilize that platform to make sure that there's cooperation between the different directors. Where our river health program, for instance, is running in the one area, we will try to also align the other programs to work in that specific area as well at the same time, in order to pool resources firstly, but also to make sure that we achieve much greater impact. So those are the kind of coordination platforms that we are currently creating, because at the end of the day, we will have to work together. Also bringing me to another point, and the Deputy Mayor has highlighted the fact that we are also trying to create jobs within this program. But unfortunately, the resources is quite limited in order to create jobs, and that is why we will also need some kind of volunteerism from various stakeholders within the different communities. And funny enough, I think Councillor Davis will indicate when we had the session with community leaders in Sedgefield, for instance, they confidently said, listen here, we don't want any money. We do understand that it's our people that actually created the mess in the first place, and they're willing to assist us in terms of mopping up the different areas. We've also got our contractors work that has already been deployed in all the 11 wards within the municipality. And we're also going to make sure that they also don't work in isolation, but they also tie in or align their cleanup program with this comprehensive cleanup campaign. So we can assure you that this is receiving our utmost priority, and we will also make sure that all of us work together to make sure that we really restore Knysna to the place of beauty, and also do away with the hazardous and the safety situation within our different areas. We will also work quite closely, specifically with our ward councillors, because they obviously the people in that area that knows the area quite well, and they will be able to direct us in terms of where to start and what the routes would be in terms of this cleanup campaign. So this is the closing remark from my side, Chairperson.
Thank you. Speaker, you want to have a follow-up? Speaker?
Chair, can you also please, can
No,
I answer
Chairperson,
my question
I'm
I've asked?
fine.
Oh, you're fine. Okay.
Chair,
Councillor
can Randall also answer my questions that I've asked on the spec and of the transporting of the waste, the problems we've picked up, the separation of the waste, and also the 2 skips? If that can also be answered, please. Thank you.
Okay. Randall, through to my director, can you answer Councillor Vale about this separating of waste?
Yeah, thanks,
Randall, please go ahead.
Thanks, Director. Thanks, Chairperson. The specifications were clear in terms of where the contractor should take the waste, Councillor. It said that it should go to a registered facility. Now, the only registered facilities and stuff that we've got is either the transfer station, or you can take the green waste to the old place facility, or you can take it to the facility behind the railway in Sagefield. But however, Councillor, I take note of your comment on that. I will liaise with the contract in your area between myself and Roland. We will sort it out. The issue of the skips, Councillor, it was quite costly last financial year, those skips. We have got a little bit of money left or we've got a little bit of money on this financial year's budget. So I'll just need to see how we're going to prioritize those skips and stuff and place it at strategic points. The issue is that we cannot leave those skips for a long period at a specific points, because then it will become a dumping space. So otherwise, we need to liaise with the community and maybe tell them that the skip will be at a strategic point for a week or for a day or 2 in order for them to dispose their stuff in. But leaving it there, it's just creating a dumping space around it. But we can communicate around that issue, Councillor Lavelle.
Thank you, Speaker. Chair, if I can just comment, I agree with
Thank you.
Chair, if I can just comment there, I agree with Randall. That's what we did. That's why I'm asking for the skips, because that was the process we did. It's only on the area for a few days. Then we rotated to even if it's for a week, we rotated to another area, and that worked exceptionally well. And thus, I'm asking if it would be possible within the budgetary confinements to look at perhaps providing us with 2 skips. But I think we can take this offline, Chair. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Speaker, you don't have a follow-up. You're fine now. Councillor Matika and
Thank you, Chair. Just I want you to thank you very much, Chair. Chair, there are 2 issues. One, let me start with the report. I welcome the report, and I'm very happy. And also the contractor started today to clean illegal dump sites. Here the report, it's not this one that is here, it's not part of that one of the contractor. Then I welcome it. I just want to make some changes here in this report. I see here it's been mentioned what for your site Cs, what for your blue roads, what for your orange roads, what for your red area, it's what for all these areas which are set, it's what for, it's what 8. You must just correct that. Your Happy Valley, all those areas, it's what for 8, not what for. I understand your maps and the stuff, but I just want you to correct that. Thank you very much. Because anything is going to happen there, and without informing me as a councillor, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to respond in anything. The other issue I just wanted to check, Chair. I want to have a clarity, since we are talking about this cleanup. I want to have a clarity. When are these people starting? I don't know if it's EPWP in our areas. We were told that the memo needs to be signed. Our northern areas are very, 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 very dirty. The permanent guys who are clean, who are taking the waste, are not assisting, because they said, "Oh, this is not our job. We're here to assist. We're not employed for here. We're here to assist." They're not gonna clean. If the pigs have messed, they're just gonna take the black bag and leave everything like that. At least those people, EPWP, that were working in our areas, they have done a good job. So I just want to throw you, Chair, when are these people starting? Because if you check, these people are, if I recall, it was saying that 20 casuals will be employed. And then these 20 casuals will be from 4 wards, if I'm correct. It's a Ward 3, it's a Ward 7, it's a Ward 8, and it's a Ward 4. And if I'm correct, it's gonna be 5 per wards, then it makes 20. So I don't expect someone from other ward or Ward 1 or Ward 5 to go and assist go and do cleaning in our areas. So I just want to check, Chair, how far is that process? When is that process starting? Our areas are very dirty. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Katie. Katie. Oh. No, it looks like it's covered. I think all councillors is.
No, sorry, Chair, it's an old end.
It's an old end. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
can you answer Councillor Matika, my diary to you?
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson. Yeah, I can ensure that Councillor Matika that the recruitment process for the 20 casuals is in advanced stage already. It's handled by our Human Resource Department. They have covered most of the areas as already. So we predict with all the administration to be handled, they would definitely be able to start latest Monday. That is the indication that we're getting from our Human Resource Department. And I agree with you, with Councillor, that will assist us tremendously in making sure that we've got adequate manpower to assist with keeping the areas clean. Just something else as well that I also just want to, as a closing remark, just want to request the assistance from councillors as well, that they utilize every platform when they have meetings with the people in their ward via their social media pages to constantly make people aware to stop littering and to be more what do you call it, waste wise in terms of utilizing any opportunity, because we will sit with a situation where we are you can see contractors have now been deployed in all the areas, but once it's clean, people will just start littering there again. So we just want to also assist councillors to also take our hands in terms of that and get that message constantly across to people to also keep their own areas clean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my director. I think my community, the councillors, I think it's the last as a chairperson. We try. You see, Councillor Speaker. It's a lot of intervention. It's a lot of department is working. It's a lot of program, but it's nothing happened on the ground. That's a problem. It cannot help us to have a lot of program, but there's nothing happened on the ground. It's happened in the report. We want to see things happen on the ground. This is what we want. I think this program, we are done. I am worried if we can make a program, we give some other department, because I know when we give other department, that program is going to dead in that other side. I think it's other issue we must take. We must see each other that on the ground, we must see the work is moving. Otherwise, we can continue making the talk show a lot of program. We can make a nice program. But if there's no action, that program means nothing. It's sitting in the books of history. So I think to me, this program must continue to clean our wards. And then municipality must claim their land. It doesn't help to clean the dumping place and live like that, because people can build a shack, we can do everything there, and then municipalities is doing nothing. We must clean and put park. You must clean, put garden. You must clean, do something. This is what the program is. I think all of us must claim this program. If we lose this program, we will lose. I'm telling you. I think for the last, thank you to the official and administration and MM and the mayor and all MECO members and other councillors and administration to be here in this section 80. That is the end of our section 80. But the recommendation in this report is there in page 84. That the report on legal dumping cleanup campaign be noted, that the true report of collective plan is established with all relevant departments and role players. That coordination be implemented to have greater impact, especially between grass cutting, stormwater channel cleaning, solid waste cleanup, and collective and removal. This is a recommendation. The member of my committee agree about this, is noted this recommendation before I close my meeting. My members are still alive.
We still here, Chairperson.
Oh, you hear? So
they are sleeping, Chair. They are sleeping.
Councillor Lezuko, I believe we here.
Chair, they are sleeping.
We agree, my members of my committee.
Agree, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the end of our meeting. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Danke. I'm danke.
Zuko,
thank you, Chair.
Danke, ndithi ku-Rex apha ndim usekela sihlalo apha ndine-ofisi apha.
Yaqhuba inkosi. Yes, Bali.
Yes.
Bali. Yaqhuba umdaka sibali.
Yes, wala qha wena uyeke umane uthukana nabantu manaphini.
Ndithuke bani ngosibali wam?
Bye.
Sibali abantu babenza umsebenzi wabo bayekuphatha abantu bakuthi sibali ndivotelwe mna. Ndivotelwe sibali abantu babenza umsebenzi wabo bayekuphatha abantu bakuthi kakubi. Anasive phelele kamasipala ndavotelwe ndaphakanyiselwa isandla sibali. Ngicela ungayilibali loo nto.
Okay, Sibali.
Nkosi Sibali man.
Ciao.